So today on Project Shop, I picked up a massive pile of wire. We got some pretty decent sized stuff here, lots of spaghetti. We'll go through that. We'll probably strip it off because I think most of it's about this size. We got some nuggets in there too. Some big old, looks like 250 or 300 MCM. Oh, that's 350 MCM. Good stuff. Copper King's going to be real happy. You know the Copper King loves that wire. We got some big spools in here. We'll have to drop the jaw down in there and liberate that up a little bit. Now fortunately I do have a box, so we can set up a cardboard box and just drop this right into it. That'll make things a lot easier. And also I picked this up. I offloaded this morning, which was interesting. And then I went and picked this up. Now I'm going to offload this. I'm going to load these bins and we're going to go pick up some more scrap. I am just like overwhelmed with scrap right now. We got steel everywhere. Probably by this weekend I'm going to have the biggest steel, I don't know about the biggest steel ticket I've ever had, but it's going to be pretty close. It's actually going to be 2 or 3 trips if I can make that on a Saturday when they close early. Hopefully I'll have the steel from all this ready. I still have all the steel from the giant motor and some transformers. I'm going to pick up some lights right now. Probably going to have more transformers. It's going to be an interesting couple of days, and if I can get that process today and some of that process today, that's going to be a nice little scrapyard run. All right, man, we just made it back. Now, probably seeing a short I dropped a while ago, but these lights was like in a big pile the size of this trailer, and I forgot to bring a drill, but I did have a hammer in my truck, and the way these lights are designed, I was able to tap on these, get the lens off, get the lamp out, and then it was just a little clip that held these on. And we were able to condense it down to these bins. These bins are working out great. Now, look at these LEDs, man. These are even heavier than the sport lighters I was getting from Miami. I'm gonna try to see if they work. There's some doubles in there that weigh over 90 pounds. These are by far the heaviest LEDs I've ever gotten. So there's a lot of heavy cast there. We might not even have to do that much to them to clean them up. We're not gonna be worrying about this now or that. We just got so much scrap, man. And I got to get this stuff off, get that wire stripped, go sell it in Miami because I got some lights to pick up tomorrow in Miami. I just got so much going on. Oh, there's Oliver. He's back with lunch. I sent him to the taco shop to get me some steak tacos and a horchata. Okay, here we go. We got a massive pile of copper here. We actually found some big old copper bus bars down in there. I only gave this guy a deposit because I knew there was probably going to be some communication cable, which there was, that whole bin. There might be more in there. We have to sort it yet. I could still see like that red. We're gonna have to go through these bins, but I wasn't expecting this much aluminum, but there was a lot of aluminum in here. We're looking at 301 pounds. And all the biggest stuff. The, what is this? 400, 500? It's like 500 or 600 MCM. But unfortunately, it's aluminum. That sucks. So if you ever buy stuff blind like this from a good customer, and you got a good relationship, I always try to buy it. And then, like, I didn't want to sort through. It was a lot easier for me just to weigh those whole bins on site and then sort it later, get out of there. So that way I could have I went and picked up from another customer, you know what I'm saying? If I would have sat there and sort this on site, it would have taken forever. And their guys, they got stuff to do, I got stuff to do. It's just a lot easier for me to do it over here. So we'll be deducting this 79 pounds, so we'll be deducting like 215 pounds or something, or 212 pounds. So now what I'm going to do, I want to get that big wire out of the way, and we'll weigh them bus bars up and pay him a #2 copper price for that. For now, I want to get them big coils off the bottom. Okay, now this bigger stuff is going to strip like butter. So we're going to start right there. And let's put this camera over here. This is a huge mess. Being that we have a box and this stuff is pretty much going to strip in one pass, I'll probably do longer lengths on the big stuff than I normally do. Oliver might have a little workout ahead of him. thumbnail with some of that, or a short, some of that big wire. All right, here's where we're at. We got an absolute mess here. We got most of the big stuff. Still got a couple nuggets that I can run through the size I'm set up on now. We got a nice chunk down in here, but we got big problems. The Copper King is damaged. So when I'm running that wire, I'm watching that back roller jump up. And I'm like, why is it doing that? It shouldn't be jumping up in random spots. What's going on is, I don't know how well this is gonna come through. Let's see if I can get it in there nice. The gears are like rolled over. The top one's not as bad as the bottom one, but what's happening is they're on such a pitch backwards, it's almost like a ramp, and making it really easy. I wonder if I can get through the hole. Can you see through the hole? Let me dial that in. See what's going on there? I don't know how well that's gonna come through, but I need new gears. So since I've had this machine, I've replaced all of these pieces and this chain. And I'm going on, that chain's got some slack. Now, the reason that gear is probably wearing out is that thing is powering two rollers. That gear turns this roller, which turns this front roller. So now this chain and this chain share the front, but I put this roller here for a reason, because I like to just grab wire and feed it and let the machine drag it up out of the pile. And sometimes this thing drags 100-pound, you know, a big chunk of copper up, you know. Sometimes it breaks the wire, it pulls so hard. So that gear has been working a lot harder than most wire strippers probably. Plus, I've literally ran miles and miles of wire through this machine. So I'm not upset that the Chinese gear has finally, you know, is giving up the goose, but I'm gonna have to find a new gear and then possibly do the mod I want to do. I want to eliminate these gears because this is such a dumb design to begin with. There's absolutely no reason there should be a gear there where there's a spring here that would allow this to open up, because if it opens up, the gears are going to skip. One, it could break a tooth. Two, it's going to lose the drive for the top two rollers. You know, it's just such a dumb design. So what I want to do is replace, and maybe I'll just do this. I want to replace the gear with a sprocket. I want to run a chain straight back to an idler pulley that has another sprocket and bring another chain back up here. So it should just all be chains. Is that going to cause extra torque, wear and tear? I have no idea. But in my opinion, it'd be a better situation than what's going on here. Or, I mean, I can't run two pulleys unless I've seen other wire strippers where I believe they run another pulley off of here and they power the top two drives from this side, which I kind of like that idea. But then my clutch wouldn't work. I'd have to redesign my clutch. I'd have to disengage this belt, which wouldn't be too hard to do. I can just run a bar across and then put my swivel over here. And then being that there's a bunch of pulleys here, I can either move the belt over add another pulley here on this shaft. There's plenty of room. Or get rid of this. Or no, it has to be a small pulley. So I would have to run the same side. I'd have to get that size pulley and this size pulley and add it to this right here. And what I would have to do is move this over. Or what I would have to do is make some type of collar. I don't know if that is one piece or if that shaft goes through the middle of this. I'm not sure, but we definitely have to work something out. Even if I just go get new gears and leave everything the way it is. It worked for, I mean, gosh, I've probably had this machine for 6 or 7 years now. And I'm on my second motor. It originally came with a 3-horse 110 motor. I upgraded to a 5-horse 220 motor, so we have all the torque. I mean, this thing literally rips the wire. When that belt actually been slipping lately, I need to tighten it up. And this belt is about worn out. That's the only downside to running a clutch like I have, this style, which is all just made out of copper bus bar and a Hurst shifter with a nitrous button, which I'm hoping I can get that functioning. If I have to take this machine apart to change those gears, we're gonna move forward with what that button's supposed to do. Anyway, we're just gonna keep riding. I mean, it's still stripping. What I did is I eased up off of this spring a little bit so that this, and I cranked down on that just a little bit more so it doesn't skip. And I'm just going to be a little bit more conscious of how hard I'm squeezing. What we're going to do now is I'm going to peel through this pile, look for the, we found some more aluminum. So we have to go throw that on the aluminum bin and get that sorted with this. And then I can deduct that off of the overall cost. It's a good thing I didn't pay for this all up front. I only gave them it was like a $4,000 ticket. I only gave him a $1,000 deposit because I couldn't see in the bottom of the thing. So we're already at over 200 pounds of, you know, that's a lot of money at I forget what I paid them, 240, 250 a pound. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to set up the unspooler and we're going to run these long runs. We're going to stretch them out and we're going to do full runs through the machine. I'll get it started. We'll peel it back. I think that's going to be the best way to go. So we're not starting and stopping, starting and stopping. We can just run this stuff. Okay, we got the OG spooler, unspooler donut maker. Yeah, this one here, just leave that one tight. We won't use this one because that one doesn't have any of the things left on it. I got to make a new one of these, but, and when I do, we're going to make this a much larger diameter here. These are okay. We're gonna do something better than this. This is something I just welded together out of electrical conduit. Anyway, we're gonna basically unspool a bunch of this stuff all the way out full length, all the way to the road. And then what we'll do is we'll set something up over here so I can drape it across. And then I can just grab it, feed it in the machine, stop it for a second, grab the insulation. Oliver can feed it that way. I can pull it back. We should be able to blow through all this big stuff relatively quick. So I'm going to show you how we're going to get set up on this. See, this wire. And when you have multiple wires, this can be a pain. Here, cut that right there. It can be a pain to try to get these. Usually I just cut this whole thing in half with the jaw, but that leaves a bunch of little pieces that we have to deal with. Now we should be able to get that on there. Okay. Now with the T-handles, this is really nice because basically you leave one stable or tight and then you just roll it down. You loosen your T-handle, tighten it up. Oh, we got to tighten this thing way up. So we want to find a fixed one, which is this. And then you tighten this down. Push down on it tight. And then you do the same thing with each. Pull this over tight. And the last one, you just push it down. And then you should be able to take all these wires go that way. Run it. Hold it, hold it. Go ahead. Hold it. There we go. Now, man, I really miss having my vise over there. All right, you ready? This particular size wire we're doing, and there's a lot of it, is like my nemesis, man. This wire is the size that's in between the final roller with, it should go through the first roller with double blades, but the back blade, because of the superior Chinese engineering, doesn't cut, so it's kind of pointless running it through there. I'd rather run it through the one that's almost too big for, and then let it squeeze on the back side, because it does help liberate it. All right, man, take this and run it out. We're just gonna pull all this shit real quick. Oh yeah. Hey, if you get to the road, stop. I'll cut it. I think you're gonna wind up going across the street with this one. Hold on, hold on. Go ahead. You at the road? Now this might seem like a little extra work now, and it is, but it's going to save a lot of time on the backside. And man, I used to do this so much. Go ahead, keep going. I got really good at it. I got to get a thing set up over here. Okay, you get the gist of it. We're going to unspool all this. I'm going to hit the time lapse so we can crank up some tunes, give me some motivation. You see what I've done? I drug it up. I'm just going to lay all the same size up over top of this chair. That way, once I start feeding, I can throw the insulation that way. He can throw the copper into the bin. Try to keep that together as much as possible, Oliver. See how you're pulling that? It's gonna mess up our thing. If you have to, cut it with the cutters here. If you go back and watch, I did a, actually, I believe it was the first video I ever put myself on camera, because in the beginning, I kind of tried to do like I was going to, and I should have done it. Like Big Stack does, you never see his face, but I was thinking more of like Wilson from Home Improvement. That kind of went out the window, but in that video, I show you I had a mountain. That was like 3,000 pounds, way more than this actually. And I unspooled it and I draped it up over top. And you can even just take these, even if you don't have something like this, you can just find the end and roll it like a tire. Just unroll it right out. And it actually works really well. All right, I'm back at it. It's another day. I wound up cutting off after Oliver left. I was already going on 13 hours and I got another full day today. We got a nice little chunk. It would have been nice to get some more in here. I don't really have time. And since I'm going down to Miami, I'm going to bring this with me. I'll probably get another box while I'm down there because this is a lot. I still have, well, we got all this. This is all freaking aluminum, unfortunately. What was that? I think that was 600 MCM. They call it KCM now, 600. Yeah, that was kind of sad, but it doesn't matter. Either way, we'll make some money off of it. We just need to deduct. I still have all this wire. This is our bus bar I pulled out of there. And then this wire I can actually take down there with me today. Another reason I stopped last night is because my forklift was running out of propane. And I only got one tank and it was too late to go get fuel. And I didn't want to have I didn't want to die in the middle of moving something around out here, so I used what little fuel was left to bring in all the valuable stuff. And I had a comment of a guy one time was like, "Oh, you leave a lot of stuff outside. Aren't you worried someone's going to steal it?" Here's a few things. One, I never leave any copper out here or anything like that big 3,000-pound stator sitting out there. I doubt someone's just going to come along and throw that in the back of their truck. And the only other thing out here is really steel. And I also live literally 2 minutes down the road. I got cameras with motion sensors that'll alert me if someone's out here messing around. And it's just not a good idea because I'll probably be here before you get out of this complex and I'll run you down. Anyway, I'm going to weigh that copper, see how much we got, and I'm gonna load up my trailer. Okay, I just weighed that box and I wanna add about another 100 pounds to it. So I'm gonna bring the jawl over here. I'm gonna munch through some of this stuff, strip it real quick, and then I'm gonna sort this stuff. The stuff that is not worth stripping, I'm just gonna sell off. The really, really thin stuff, it's just too tedious. And you know, I get enough for number one insulated. I can just still make a little bit of money and not waste so much time. You really don't gain that much. If you got nothing to do, yeah, strip it. But in my case, I gotta flip it and I gotta get on the road. I got lights to go pick up down in Miami. So when you got help, it's faster and easier to do long runs if you can do like what me and Oliver did last night. But if you don't have help, I'm telling you, you don't want to be cutting this stuff over like, you know, anything over 10 feet is going to cause you problems. So we're just going to munch this stuff up a little bit. think I'm dialed in for this size wire. Try to get most of this big black stuff stripped. I think I'm gonna call it there for stripping. I don't know how much that is, but I'm gonna clean that up real quick. I'm gonna sort this stuff. Actually, I'm gonna bring that wire over, sort it real quick, get my #1 insulate, then I'll throw this in this bin. I'm probably gonna strip that before I go. That's pretty big stuff. That'll be a quick, easy buck. And then, yeah, we're gonna get on the road. So I'm gonna hit some music and a time lapse, and we're gonna hustle. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before?